Where is the place? I got a hiccup. I got a hiccup and sneeze at the same damn time. It's crazy. No, the world was never silent. Maybe it was. I don't know. I don't want to hear shit. I want to just hear my meditation music, actually. If you could help me with that. If you could help me with that. Say, you know what a teenager wants. I'm not a teenager, but I just put meditation. It's that frog talking on the TV. I did not go live. I did not want to go live to look at a tree frog talk on the television. Fuck that weird ass Sony ad, bro. What the hell? Welcome in when y'all get in though. Obviously, by the title, we're doing Q&A on shadow work. Uh, let's try and keep it focused on shadow work as much as we can. Uh, I guess you can personalize it because that's coming through. If you feel the need to ask like, how do I do shadow work on this? Go for it, but don't make it too personal. You know what I mean? Like, don't tell me a whole situation, but if you want to know how to heal from something general, or like shadow work for something general, or like steps that would help you see something in a lighter light, in a lighter way. Ooh, a tree front. Let's go. You better not be texting driving, Missy Jackson. You better not be. You better not be asking that. What's it? Shadow work while driving. My best suggestion: wait to a red light. You need to stop. Your shadow work say you need to stop before you ask a question. That's what I'm gonna tell. I'll be safe out there for real. you you better get parking now. Don't be driving and texting and driving. I get you in trouble. And yeah, I'm gonna be eating celery and blackberries. What you got? I don't want to see no one judging me for eating my celery and blackberries, because I'll just make fun of you about how you don't have any, and it won't. It will get really rowdy real quick. It won't be fun. All right. At least you'll be listening. And this isn't one of those do not listen to while driving or operate heavy machinery videos. So you lucky. I'm gonna say that. That's all I got. That's the best comeback I have for that. Is you're lucky that this is not a do not listen while operating vehicles or lifting anything over 25 pounds. Well, but hopefully we're doing well. How we all doing? How we all doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? You're gonna see me big back this celery and stuff. I'm not even gonna lie. I haven't ate like all day, so I'm gonna be munching my heart out. Do not get jealous. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. Um, I don't know. I have like what 7 cards? Hold on. Let me see. One, two. Y'all are just so hard to separate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have. How do I always have one more than I think? What the fuck? 1, 2, 3, 4. What the hell? I thought I had 7. Are y'all adding cards to my shit? Spirit guides, explain to me. I'm either not counting correctly or y'all are adding an extra card. Oh, I keep putting it on the book when I. Never mind, that's a me thing. Thanks for answering. I literally just keep putting it on the book.
and counting that it's finished when it's blank. Okay, cool, awesome. I'm glad to know that it's me this time. I'm glad to know it's me. Uh, if y'all wonder what I'm talking about, though, I am making a very interesting, like, image shamantic deck. I remember I told y'all I was gonna make this like a year and a half ago, maybe closer to 2 full years ago, and I'm finally getting started to it. It's a lot different than how I thought it was gonna be, and I highly doubt that this will be something. This is not going to be used um in readings at all. This is like a special occasion thing or like for me only. That's how it's being made. It is not going to be something that I'm going to make into an actual deck for people to buy, mainly because the resources of it would cost way too damn much. It would cost holy shit way too much. Also, I would need to like print them, and I don't know how well it would go at printing, but overall, it's a very interesting deck. I may pull it out. You may just see me start randomly doodling on the papers. Uh, because I've just been getting ideas, and I wasn't gonna stream till I had them finished. But it's already 9 o'clock. I've been working on it for 2 hours. It's a lot of meditative work. So I was like, I'll just go live, and if I happen to get an idea halfway through, I should probably just keep everything over here too, just in case I get a random idea. Then I'm gonna do that. But we are here. If y'all have any questions about shadow work or things of that nature, how to do it, why you should do it, things of that nature, anything to do with the shadow or just working with it, now this is the time to ask. I know it's kind of like one of those things like, well, I wasn't prepared, so I don't have any questions. Well, that's usually the best time because the questions that you usually have prepared are like redundant. Not saying you're not saying it in like a personal sense, but think back to when you were like forced to write questions out for something. You ask one question and then you have a list of 10 and 8 of the questions get knocked out with one of the answers. It's like, well, why did I write 10 questions out if I only need to ask 3? You know what I mean? So it's always best to do it spontaneously because it gives you a chance to ask questions that aren't rooted in with the same question. Like, oh, what's your favorite color? And it's like, oh, well, you know, what if your color's not a favorite? What if you don't have a favorite color? Then what color it is? Because I'm not going to say I don't have a favorite color. I'm just going to tell you I don't have a favorite color. It's iridescent, which is a conglomerate of colors. It's an effect. So then that takes out that question and the color question. What? You got frozen blueberries? I mean blackberry? Yeah, you got frozen. Lucky. Mm. I told y'all not to get jealous about me, but here I am, being a little upset that I don't have blueberries. I'm just kidding. But I wish I did have some blueberries for real. I am a berry enthusiast. I love my berries, dude. I love berries. Mm-mm-mm. I used to hate strawberries though. I used to hate them with a passion. I don't know why. But then one day I was like, you know what? I think I'm just a hater. The strawberries aren't that bad. And then I started eating strawberries. I don't know what flipped in my switch, but I was like, I don't. You know what? I don't even know if I really like. I don't know why I don't like strawberries for real. Let me eat. Let me eat one real quick. I had to like backhand myself for that. What's the best way to start with shadow work? The best way to start with shadow work is really just taking time to meditate. I will literally dedicate, especially if I'm feeling like overwhelmed randomly, or if I'm just in a space where like I don't know what to do. I will lay down flat as fuck, like flat laying and everything, arms to my side, just lay down and just sit there and close my eyes and shut the world off. No music, no nothing. Lights off, doors shut. Maybe I'll have a cover on top of me, maybe I won't. That depends, but I'll lay there and I'll just whatever comes to me. And I'll notice a lot of the times it will be like old situations that I really feel like I have a grip on, and it just comes to me. And it's like, okay, I won't question why. I will allow the situation to come to me. It would be a situation because I'd be sitting still, I'd be laying still, and I just let those things come to me. That's a good way to start that I've kind of figured out, because when you try to force your way onto thinking about what to do shadow work on, it it creates more friction between you and your ego, because your ego wants to pick at it, but if your ego has that control of picking at it, it's going to decide what to pick at, and you'll figure out that you'll get more stressed out, or you'll get more frustrated or angry or anxious when doing shadow work, and it's because you're trying to force yourself to see something instead of just allowing it to show it to yourself. I don't know. It might have been because of Willy Wonka. I'm not too sure, but that's the best way. That's not the best way. I wouldn't say the best. It's one of the. That's a good way. Um, to just kind of like start with that shadow work. Another good way is if there is like a situation that's on the front, like on your frontal mind a lot, kind of just writing it out. Just write out what it is on a piece of paper, like you're thinking, you're just sitting down, and then all of a sudden, you think about your dead dog or something. Well, my dead dog is on my mind right now, and then come back to it later and be like, why was this on my mind? Because it won't have enough detail to sway you to think that it's good or bad, but it'll have enough detail to get your gears running whenever you have like space from it. My eyes are always closed. I will always close my eyes. I want to be deprived of that sense when I'm doing shadow work. I don't want to be forced to look around, because that's where what is it called? It's like cognitive something. I think cognitive awareness or something. Your eyes will start to wander and hook on to objects and things, and that can kind of force you to like fixate on it. So like you're doing shadow work on this. I'm just gonna throw an easy example out because there's like a candle in front of me, for instance, right? So you're doing shadow work, and all of a sudden, someone pops up, and you look at a candle. Your brain goes all fritz. Oh, someone could be doing candle work. Maybe I need to do a candle cleansing spell to get rid of the energy. All these other things, and it's like I don't need that. If I'm candle gazing for shadow work, that's different. But if I'm just doing shadow work because I feel the need to, or because like I'm just in the mood to, my eyes are closed. I don't need any suggestions around me to create different sort of thoughts or patterns in my mind. I just want to know what's trying to show itself to me. Cognitive dissonance. Thank you. I could not remember it for the life of me, but I knew it was cognitive something. But that's what I'll do. But again, like sometimes that does help within shadow work. Sometimes it can help you figure out why you're you're needing to do the shadow work, because your eyes will latch on to the thing that is causing that issue. But that again, that's where the discernment comes from. So like let's say you are kind of traumatized by candle work and candle magic, so you don't really like candles anymore, but you have one in front of you that you light for yourself, and you're doing shadow work, and you look at the candle. You can use that candle as a tool to kind of heal you, or to help you with that shadow work. This camera is tilted as fuck. It didn't really fix it, but it fixed it a little bit. But yeah, definitely close your eyes. That's the best way to do it. um Because like if you're gonna do it with your eyes open, you got to have like strong discernment, and also you have to have a lot of like mental resilience too, because again, it like you being surrounded by an object that subconsciously creates fear or trauma can fuck you up if you're hyper focused on it or in an area where you're thinking about it. It can do a lot more harm than good. Also, with your eyes being closed, it helps you relax more. It really does help you relax more. It allows whatever you need to have come to you, come to you. Um, think of shadow work just as like a meditation, but on your traumas. It's not hyper focused enough on your traumas to make you like freak out or feel a certain way, but it's enough to let you see what in that time is affecting you or having an influence or an affluence over your life or over you at that time. But definitely, if you're gonna use objects though, like have a dedicated room. Don't just decide to look at something because allow that to happen naturally. And again, that's where like your mental resilience comes in. Your eyes and your brain will naturally scan when you're thinking of things. It's just how it is. So if you're thinking about stuff that gives you trauma and then all of a sudden you latch onto something, though it can help you, you can also become hyper fixated with it to now your brain created a pattern to where if I see this, it has to be this happening. Like, oh, I see a nightstand, so that means that obviously that's an altar and altar magic. Oh my god, all that stuff. Um, yeah, it's like I usually meditate laying down too. A lot of people say you should sit up, and I get the reason why. It does. It is like a proper thing. It is a tuning fork method, but you need to make yourself comfortable. If you can't lay down and not sleep during meditation, you need to learn how to sit up or at least prop yourself up at like I think a 45-degree angle so that you're not apt to fall asleep, but you're in a relaxed state. Yeah, doing it around, especially in water. Like shadow work in water is the craziest. If you have like a bath or like a hot tub or a pool, do your shadow work there. If you have like lavender and Epsom salts or just anything to help you relax your like actual body and your muscles, that it will help you tons there. Um, but definitely add salt to the water to emanate like the sea, so you can emanate like real water. And I mean real water as in like living water that has a current in it, rather than our default water that just shoots straight down. That's called dead water. It doesn't have any electrical charge in it. It's literally just shooting down. When waters are in vortexes or spinning, or moving around, it has a charge in it and it's alive. It's literally living. Um, but we literally kill our water the way it runs through our faucets and stuff. It kills it, and that's why it's like not a good source of water. It needs to be moving. Of course, you can like take that dead water and generate, spin it around, create its own vortexes enough to create life with it. Um, but it's always just best to have like some form of like running water or water moving, like bubbles or something. Else is going on up here? I wonder why. I wonder why no one wants to join these lives. We talk about doing shadow work. Yes, indoor small fountains, please. Or even if that, just be around running water. Just if you don't, oh, I don't want to get wet right now. Oh, just run the bath. Be careful though. Or like can create one of the contraptions. I forgot what it's called, but it's like an auto water running machine where you just have three glasses of water that keep um pouring into each other. Um But just being around that or nature noises, just any form of like natural sustainant noise will allow you to be more relaxed because shadow work is very, very physical and tangible and mutable, heavily mutable. So if you're around like a natural element, it allows you to like feel more safe, feel more comfortable when you're getting into those depths. Dude, that scared the fuck out of me again. Why are these What is that? Get that off my screen. I don't want to see no hedgehog talking with a cowboy hat on. That's not. I got like actually pinged like I don't even know. That was like terrifying. There was like a noise at the beginning of that commercial. I was like, oh hell no. I'm trying to focus in on y'all and help y'all heal. I don't want to listen to no talking gopher. I don't even know what commercial that was, but get that. I'm glad I could skip it within the first 5 seconds. It actually like made me jolt. I was not expecting that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how else. I don't even know what to talk about with shadow work. Really, that's another thing about my complications with these like teachings and question and answer stuff. I literally will not have anything to talk about, but if I get questions and stuff, yes. Yeah, dude, that's what I mention to people all the time when they're doing shadow work. Thank you for mentioning that. I don't know why I wasn't even talking about that. When you're doing shadow work, pay attention to colors that you get, shapes, all sorts of stuff, symbols, shapes, colors, feelings, smells. All of those can help you solve why you have that trauma or why that shadow is not being healed. Um, Different shapes have different meanings. Obviously, different colors relate to the emotions. Shapes can also relate to emotions, but more of the frequency. So that can tell you where it's stored. Um, your smells can tell you how your brain remembers it or the effect it has on you. Like you'll have sour smells or salty smells, and they'll tell you like how you are processing it, or even like, oh, I smell the sea. Well, there's some form. What well, was there like a beach incident that has you traumatized? Was there like a trauma, like an incident with water that you don't like, or how you know what I mean? Like it gives you so many hints and so many leeways to figure out why and the what's in that shadow and why it's making itself apparent to you. What's the most powerful part of my shadow? Oh, honestly, the most powerful part, because it's like because everything really kind of happened in that one moment where I was like locked in a basement for 30 days with no food or no water. Um, I really did not know what the fuck I did to deserve that. But and yeah, the guided meditation stuff is crazy. Like please for the love of God use my guided meditation stuff. It will really help you. But back to the whole thing, like I was so confused. All I did was ask one of my friends to be nicer. All I said is like, you're being really mean. You laughed at my dad almost dying when he came over here to give me like rations and stuff. You need to be a nice person and like just not do that. And it baffled me. They just decided to lock me in the basement. They poisoned some food that I ended up eating. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, what did I even do to do? Like, I was trying to call the cops. The cops didn't believe me. I tried to tell my dad, my parents, they didn't believe me. I posted videos of it online on my Instagram. I talked about it on my Facebook. No one paid attention to me at all. Everyone thought I was fucking lying and stupid. And I was like, okay, like, what the fuck do I do? Like, no one, not even the law is taking care of me. What the fuck? And I really had to sit there and it really hit me like, you're alone. And if you did die down here, no one would know or no one would care. And it like, I really had to sit with that. And I remember doing meditations one night, and that's really what started. I would just sit down. I was doing the gate program, uh, and just learning how to do that. But really, I was just laying down on my bed a lot, and I was just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I have to leave this place within a month. I don't have any damn money to my name, and I would just lay there and meditate. And one day, uh, Archangel Gabriel and one of my guides came down, and they were like, "Look, what you need to do is sit back and think about that situation. You gotta think about what you just went through." And I was like, what do you mean I have to think what I went through? How do I start to think about that?" And they're like, "Look, obviously you said something that bothered both of them to the point of wanting to do this to you. You have to find a way to accept that it's not your fault. And that's what they wanted to do, but were looking for an excuse for why they could or why they should. They wanted to get back at me, and I really had to sit there and deal with like, why did you, why did why do you want to get back at me like this to almost kill me? Is how you wanted to get back at me? Like I had to sit with that, and I did. And I remember I was talking with Gabrielle and I was talking with my guides, and they were like, "Look, you need to remember something." And it's like, think back to when you were like 7, 8, 9 years old. And I said, "Okay." They said, "Do you remember how happy you were?" I was like, "Yeah, I remember how happy I was." I was like, "Okay, I want you to follow this pattern all the way up to now. Were you happy when that incident hit?" And I was like, "Yeah, I could say that I was a little happy until I was being interrupted." And they said, "Don't worry about the interruption part. Were you happy until that happened?" And I said, "Yeah." They were like, "Okay, what were you doing?" I was like, "Well, I was because I was sitting down because we used to smoke in the basement. We smoked weed in the basement. That's where I slept, but it had like a little table down there and like a little kitchen area. So it was like, yeah, I would just be there and I'll smoke, and then that's we just, or that was like the smoking out area. It didn't bother me. It was whatever. So I was sitting down there and I was smoking. I was like, okay, cool. They stopped there. I said, why do I stop there when there's more? I said, because I want you to remember the state of happiness you were in at that point. And I was like, okay. They said, draw it back. Do you remember you in middle school and high school? I said, yeah. They said, were you happy in those areas? And I was like, no, I was depressed. They said, okay. When before you became depressed, were you happy? I said, yeah. And they kept bringing me back and forth like this. And I was really confused why it made no damn sense until they brought up, okay, what changed you being happy? And how did you become happy again? How did you end up finding a way to have joy? I was like, well, I started to laugh. I started to do things that I loved, even though I was like in a painful place. They said, good, stop there. They said, all you need to do is have fun. And I was like, what do you mean have fun? I'm being starved to death. They said, look, you are punishing yourself for other people punishing you. And I said, okay. And they said, do you feel like you deserve to be punished? And I said, no. They said, did you do things that could have been taken out of context? I said, yes. And he said, so you agree that you did something wrong? And I had to sit there and I wanted to say no so bad, but I was like, no, I did. They said, why? And I said, my intentions weren't transparent or they weren't pure enough. And they said, how? And I was like, well, I did raise my voice. I raised my voice a lot. I didn't scream. And then I remember telling the friend, if you don't know how to talk to me, don't talk to me at all. And then I went off to my room and they said, exactly. They said, that right there is what caused the whole thing. And I said, okay. And they said, don't worry about the physical punishment. They wanted you to feel how they felt. And I said, all right. And they said, did you feel how they felt? And I said, yeah, I'm still even feeling it now. They said, good, you've already felt it. You paid your punishment. by feeling what they felt. You separating from them was the pain that they felt when you told them not to talk to you. And I said, okay. They said, that was the punishment. This is a waiting period that you're in. You're not in prison, you're not in trouble, but you need to learn how to have fun again. And I was like, okay. So then I started, making music. I started watching videos. That's when I found the tarot channels and stuff and started laughing at that. Started playing games with my friends more. But I kept doing like a meditation. I would meditate 3 times a day. I had so many hours of the day not doing anything. So I was made it mad to do it 3 times a day. And it got to the point to where any time where I started to feel a little bad or like felt like I deserved to just be stuck there or like that would just go ahead and kill me because I don't want to be down here anymore, I would go back into meditation and I'd be like, why, what makes me feel like this now? It's like I've felt these feelings before. What's happening now to create those feelings? It's like, oh, I'm trapped down here, no one's believing me, all these things. And it's like, okay, but I'm still having fun, right? And I was like, yeah, I'm having fun. And I had to go back and forth with that for a while. It was a whole month of me going back and forth with myself with that. Um, they were obviously doing, fear tactics and stuff. Where my room was positioned was underneath the kitchen. They would always be up there and talk about me. One day they said that I had to leave the house now. They would stomp. They'd make a whole bunch of noise and try and scare me. But and of course I knew they were doing magic on me. I knew that for sure, but it's like, okay, what can I do to have fun? They don't want me feeling good down here because they want to punish me. I've already paid my punishment. What they haven't done is listen to their punishment. They haven't took in the account that what they did to me was very inhumane. And they're trying to make me act out so that they don't have to feel bad. But I don't need to feel bad because I've already felt that. It's not me disregarding the situation, but it's me reminding myself that, hey, I don't need to stay upset at what's happened because the separation already happened. The deadline is already there. Um, so I already know that I have to be out by then, but I'm not talking to them. I'm not interacting with them. When we did talk, it was like there was one day where one of them came to check in on me and see if I was alive, really. And then another day where they were messaging me telling me that I had to pay them rent. And I was like, no, you locked me in your basement. I'm not going to pay you rent. Like, that makes no sense to me. So I'm not going to do that. You're silly. For real. Actually, they were asking for $300. And I was like, I'm not going to pay $300 for being locked in a shitty basement. That's not what I'm going to do. That's not what I'm going to do. Um, but that's one of the major things that I learned in shadow work was really just getting down to the point to where like the punishment happens when both people make their decision. And if you can live with your decision, your punishment is over. If you cannot morally live with your decision that you made, your punishment will continuously happen. Oh, I know, Julia. I know all this now. It's like it doesn't even matter to me. I hope that they have the best life in the world. I really do. I don't hold a grudge against them. I don't wish nothing but love on them. It is they can't do anything to me. In that entire month, actually literally almost 3/4 of the way through that month, I was already healed. I was jumping around having fun. I was calling friends, the people that knew I was in the basement, and they're like, "How are you handling it like this?" And I was like, "I've done the. I just don't care anymore." It's like, well, don't kill yourself. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I just don't. This isn't affecting me. There's nothing that they like. What else could they do? They've already done the worst that they can do. They can't do anything more. Like, I'm leaving in like 4 days. So who cares? I'm fine. And then, lo and behold, 3 days before I had to leave, someone randomly messages me and goes, "Hey, do you want to go to Pride Fest?" I don't know this person. I go, "Sure." We meet up, we become good friends, we move in within the 3 days that I had to get kicked out. I ended up sleeping over at a friend's house on their couch while waiting for the apartment to get in. And during that time, my dad ended up coming to me, giving me $5,000 so I could pay for the hotel, not pay for the hotel, but pay for the apartment. And everything just went smoothly. But that's like, I've witnessed that miracle happen. I've witnessed the power of when you really do heal. You really do have to do that inner work, especially if you feel stuck, because you change things. If you're still putting out an energy of wanting revenge, or that things are down, or that someone deserves punishment, you're going to just put that on all yourself, because that's your thoughts and your energy. It doesn't matter what they've done, it doesn't matter what actions they do to you. It's how you're going to respond to it. If your response is opposite of theirs, then there's no agreement. There's no agreement. It's called balance. When you agree to give them the same energy, then it's a weighing situation. Then you're adding on to them, and then they have permission and all sorts of other shit to put more on you to weigh you down even more. Oh, now you really are assholes, so we don't have to feel bad about what we did to you because you're still talking fucking crazy about us. You know what I mean? And you have to keep doing that. You got to keep going back and revisiting that aspect. Like, I'll go back. Like, I even now in my shadow work still, I'll think about it, and I really like. I know I do not hate those people. Like, I know that in the group chat of 5 friends, well, 7 friends that they had, 8 including me, that all 7 of them, that I wasn't in the group chat ever, but all of them knew that they had me in that basement. All of them knew that I had no food and water. All of them knew that I was being tortured that way. Maybe they didn't know that I didn't have no food or water, but they all knew that I was trapped down there. They all knew it was because of what I said and how I responded. Can I be okay with that? Yes, because that's 7 people that have committed heinous crimes against someone that is just doing their best in life. And I really had to see it that way. It's like, that's how life is, but it's about learning how to heal yourself so that that doesn't become your poison. You being mad at someone, you trying to retaliate on someone in a pessimistic manner, I'll say, is how you end up getting hurt in real life. That's how you open the door for people to come in and like really do shit to you. That's why they send gang stalkers after you. If they can get under your skin with gang stalkers, then it proves to them the reason why they're stalking you, and then it opens up a whole new door for them to do whatever the fuck they want. But if you're still acting normal, even if you notice them and you're still just doing your own thing and you're being happy and lovey, it makes them sit back and go, okay, so why? You know what I mean? Like, even if you, it's like you're going to jail because you killed someone. You can't just hide the fact that you going to jail because you killed someone, right? It's gonna read up on your face. People are gonna walk up on you, ask you questions, and it's gonna draw it out of you emotionally. But if you truly have done nothing wrong and you've healed yourself inside, and killing someone was like a bad example, by the way. That's a horrible example to put out, but it's just how it's rolling. Um, it won't affect you. Well, actually, no. It's like self defense. So let's say someone broke into your house and you killed them, right? Though you have the guilt of that, if you know it was truly, honestly, in self defense, you yourself will not have as much guilt. Yeah, there's like punishments that you might have to go through, however, or you still have to go to court, and that might be a weighing issue on you. You yourself will be more content and less punishable on yourself. And that's what I mean. And that's what the divine even means. And what I mean when we talk about God doesn't punish you, Allah doesn't punish you, the divine does not punish you. The punishment is on your behalf. And then they agree to the terms or the feeling that you have that would weigh on that scale that you would have to suffer in return. But thank you for the membership given. My name is, you can call me Z, but my name is Zahara. But thank y'all. I'm glad that I'm able to help y'all out. I know that like a lot more people go through what I went through than I would that I would realize. Actually, I don't remember their name, but I remember the situation. There was when I first started doing readings, even someone was actively in the same situation that I had just left of being locked in a basement, no food and everything. And I was like, what the fuck? And obviously that's like now that I've like matured even more on the path, that is like a whole like satanic, it's I believe it's a ball ritual. I believe that's who it's to. But it's like it's literally like an energy harvesting system. If they can't chain you down and put you in a cage in a basement, they'll just derive you of your basic needs and drain you of your energy that way. It's the same vampiric move. Um, I know that now that I've matured on the journey, but then it's like, when I didn't know anything, it's just like, what the fuck did I do to deserve this? And I really had to talk to myself. And even further, it's like an energetic draining system. Why do I deserve this? People want to say, oh, it's just something that earth angels go through or something that divine people go through. No, it's not. It is not a thing that divine people go through. It is a thing that divine people are forced into. You didn't walk in there going, yep, I want this. It was forced on you. Why was it forced on you? That's where your healing comes in. What do you offer those people? For me, it was that unconditional support. I was an idea maker. Anytime we had an idea, it's like, okay, I can add on to it. I was a DJ. I did all this other stuff. So like I could throw parties and stuff. I could get big get-togethers and whatnot. I was an ideal person. For you, it might be something different. For you, it just might be like, you're seen as like the party dude, the party girl. However, it doesn't matter. But you need to find out what you give to them and realize it's not your fault that they don't have that. And in actuality, I should say, they want you to stay. But in reality, they're stealing it from you because they don't want you to go anywhere. So you have to see it from both those spectrums. Take the actuality of it of they don't want me to go because I bring that love there, I bring that light there. But that's exactly why I have to leave because I don't like the treatment or the effect of my energy on these people. It's not my fault they act out in animalistic ways towards what I bring. So I should not hold anything against them. I need to hold on to what I have. I need to hold on to what I bring and, not be afraid to give others it as well. But now I know some signs of where things would start up. So, you know what I mean? It's not about trying to, they want you to just hide yourself, hide your glow. But these are lessons and ways of seeing and, doing the shadow work gives you signs. Because I remember even the friend that even gave the idea for me to be in the basement. We were playing a game, and I am bad with reading maps. I cannot read a map to save my life. So he was saying turn left. I mean go south. And I was going south. And I did not know that going straight would change the direction. So I would keep going straight. And I drove circles around a location. And I was like, okay, look, if you know where you're going, why don't you drive? Because I'm asking you where it's at, and you keep saying go south. And then I go south on the compass. And then you get mad at me because I'm not going south anymore. Like you're not describing to me the directions. Obviously, that was on purpose because they knew by the fourth time me driving, or they should have known that I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But I remember they started getting mad. We were playing D&D and we were really good friends. So I was like, I want my character to have like an arc within yours because every other character in the D&D campaign that we were doing had some kind of background tie with his character. So I was like, why not we have one with mine? And we talked about it was going to be a big old thing, but he was like, I don't like your idea. Your idea is I didn't expect it or whatever because my character was really weird. He was a weird one. I didn't really want to talk in the group chat, so I made a character that was mute and would just talk with his eyes. But he had a crow that would respond or like talk to people in like like a sarcastic way. So it was a whole thing. But I can look back at the signs and see like during even D&D sessions, he was short with only my characters. Or when we would hang out in person, he would show that he didn't want to talk to me. He would say that, oh, you have very interesting views on life, but we would never talk. It would always be him. And then I would always sit down and listen to what he had to say. Like, he would talk for like fucking 2 hours about things that honestly I didn't give a fuck about. But being a friend, I sat there and let him talk my ear off. I'm a listener. Um, but it was like these signs where I didn't want to just be a listener. I wanted to be more involved. And that's what made him feel a bit less because he was the quote unquote attention person, attention puppy of the group, I'll call him. So when I started to step up with all like, with my entry with my interest and stuff and showing people my music, it overshadowed the time that he was used to holding. So I can't hold that against him because that's work that he needed to do for himself. But that's the things that, those are sort of the signs that I started seeing now after doing the shadow work that showed me, hey, I'm overstepping a boundary on their half. So I need to make sure, you know, it's not making sure that I'm doing anything wrong, but I need to make sure I'm paying attention to how they're going to act towards me or paying attention to what the world's doing around me. Am I drawing out a pick me energy just by being myself? And if so, how can I separate myself from that energy so that I don't have to deal with a backlash of it? Now my D&D character was fucking crazy. He was from a different dimension. I don't even have a I used to have a photo of him. Oh my god. But he was super fucking cool, dude. He was literally made of space dust. He was like a cloak. He had a deer mask that he would wear. His eyes were like it was like a target. So it had like a tiny circle and a bigger circle. They were red, but they would glow with different emotions and stuff. Uh, the crow was funny because he was a necromancer and he died, but he put his soul in the crow so, so that he would stay alive forever. And doing that, he gained rank of being a primordial deity. So then he became immortal, but over time he like was like eons and eons old. His vocal cord and his whole vocal box basically just deteriorated. So he gained a telepathic connection with the crow because it had a soul in it and would just talk through his soul telepathically. It was like a whole thing. He was a very intricate, like unique character. I miss him. Rook and Jest. The dude's name was Jest, and obviously Crow was Rook. But that shit was I missed that character so much. He was crazy. Uh, dude, he was like kind of stupid. Cause oh my god, what is that move? I forgot what it was. But I would always dimensional door. I would always just fucking use dimensional door on people. I'd drag them into like fucking like scare rooms or whatever. Like we're interrogating someone, and I just had enough. Like you're not telling us any information. I was like, okay, uh, Jess is gonna use dimensional door and put him into a scare room until he gives us what we want. And it's like, okay, roll for it. We would roll for it. Like, okay, well, you throw him in the door, you spawn a door, you throw him in, shut it, hear him scream for 30 minutes and he comes out telling all the information. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, let's move on. But also looking back at it, That's why that friend didn't like my character, because he was an orc berserker. So he was like, he was the muscle, the scare person of the group. So now all of a sudden you have this primordial god that just throws people indoors and shit to get information. There's no need to cut anyone's head off or be gory. You just scare the fuck out of them. So he didn't like that either, because it's like I didn't take the show, but I gave a a new solution to problems rather than trying to kill everyone, because that was his character's issue, was he wanted to kill everyone, kill everything. And I was like, well, that's not very good to get fucking, like, how are we going to talk to a dead body? No one else in the group was a necromancer except for me, and I was not about to revive dead bodies every fucking 2 minutes because they wanted to kill someone. I'm just going to scare the shit out of them or cause an illusion or like mind sliver them or something. uh Not really, but kinda. The cloak is actually the same cloak. Um, or the same design of the cloak. The cloak that I have for the channel is actually Orion's belt constellation. Which it kind of looked the same on the character design that I had, but it didn't really, it did influence it in a bit, but also not. I'm just a very big fan of Corvids. Um, and if you know, you know. I'm very bird brainish. I'm very, very, very bird brainish. Um, but I got an email and I see your email, so I'll respond to your question. I have just gone through hell and back. That's how I'm so smart. I have refused to not learn. I love learning, dude. I cannot stop learning. The only reason I know all the shit I do is because I had moments where I would sit down and I would like, I would have to grieve like we have to grieve. All right? If I didn't grieve, I would be a narcissistic asshole for real. But I had to grieve for a minute. I had to sit there and be real with myself. This sucks. I didn't deserve this. There's no fucking reason for this. These people are assholes. This fucking sucks. You have to go through that. You have to. It's part of the process. But I realized at points it's like I can't just sit here and be mad at someone. I need to get up and change myself, because if I'm just mad at this person, when the day it, like, let's say let's take it back to that incident. If I stayed mad at them for that whole month, dude, I had less of a plan. I would have even less of a plan of how to get out. I would have been homeless way sooner. You know, I had to take time to really look at myself and be like, look, what do I need to do? I don't know what to do. I really don't. So I reached out to God. I said, God, what do I need to do? God sent Gabrielle down to me. God sent Michael down to me. And they're like, look, you just need to heal. You do these things that we're telling you, please. And that's all you have to do. Don't stress, please. And it was like they were begging me. And it was like, I don't know what you want. Like, I don't know how not to stress about this, dude. I'm starving to death and I'm about to be homeless for real. You don't want me to panic? And they're like, no, we get that. It's fine. But find something to give you hope, please. Anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Just latch onto it and you'll find your way. And I was like, I don't know, but I'll try. And I did. You really, it is something that I cannot to this day even explain. And it's something I will always, I feel like I'll lack it for a longer time than I think. I might not, but I'll never be able in this time to describe to you how I actually did latch onto what I did. That was such an interpersonal moment for me. And I'm not you, and you're not me. I can't translate in any way, shape, or form how I connected to it. All I know is that I connected to it, and I have proof of it by the way I think to this day, by the way that I move to this day. And it's like you have to find that path on your own. And that's the shitty part. And I was on my own. I mean, I was completely on my own. I told, like, my own dad didn't believe me. that I was locked in that basement until after it happened. When he came to go see me, he looked at how skinny I was and he was like, "Oh." He's like, "You weren't." And I was like, "It's okay. I don't hold it against you. I really don't. I'm glad that you're here and helping me now. Like, thank you." And that, my dad's become one of my huge, huge guardians because of that factor. After he passed away, I felt his presence while watching. I was watching Ghostbusters 2, and all of us. I just remember thinking like my dad would really enjoy this movie. And then I got a message from my dad's friend saying, "I am so sorry. I just got the news." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I got a call 2 minutes after that, and they're like, "Yeah, your dad has passed away. It was peaceful in his sleep." And I was like, I didn't even have time to process it. I was like, "I love you, Dad." And I just went back. I literally just remember I wasn't tearing up or crying. I like went back, finished Ghostbusters, went back to the apartment that I was at, and just started crying. Meanwhile, the apartment that I was at, I was under magic attack too. So I was under black magic attacks and everything. But I walked back into that apartment and just laid in my bed and cried all day, basically. And then I did a reading later that day after crying for so long. And I was like, I have to just get back to work. Not in like a forceful ignoring it way, but I was like, I can't just sit here and cry all the time. And my dad was proud of me for what I was doing. He was proud of me for doing tarot. He was proud of me because I was keeping him updated. Like one day, I got a donation of like $1,000, and I messaged him immediately. I was like, "Dad, I'm doing it. I'm making it. I just want you to know." And he was like, "I'm so proud of you." And I still have those messages on my phone. And it's like I couldn't. I wasn't about to let him not being here anymore, like at all on the physical, stop me, because I never had him in close proximity in the first place. But there was a strong feeling of him being next to me ever since that day happened. And I know a lot of you remember that day too. That was like the most fucking bizarre thing I ever had to go through. Um, but it's like there are so many things that I've gone through. There's so much that I've like had to sit back with and really like learn how to cope with on my own and learn how to like deal with because of either a lack of people wanting to listen to me or a lack of people like wanting to, believe or know what I was going through. So I really had to just sit there and push through it. And it wasn't like a pushing where I would exhaust myself, but I would push, I would rest, and when I felt like I can get up again, I would go again, but just as much as I could. I wouldn't overdo it. I would just day by day baby steps. But yeah, it's just you really have to have that interpersonal connection with yourself. And even then, before I went homeless in the apartment complex, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, "Zahara, I love you. Whatever happens, I'm not giving up on you." And like a year and a half later, I'm here. Like it's something that like you really have to build that bond with yourself because you're not talking to your flesh, you're talking to your soul. You're talking to that inner fire that's able to build and create. So when you can look at yourself in the eyes and say like I'm not going to give up on you ever, and that's coming from a mental plane going to the spiritual plane, there's an agreement happening. There's a friction of will that's being formed, well, being dissolved, excuse me. The friction of will is being dissolved so that it can come true. You really have to bond with yourself that way. Because we're all looking for an apology. We're all looking to be told that someone's proud of us. We're all looking for that love, but all you have to do is tell yourself that. Apologize to yourself. I'm sorry that we had to go through this. Don't say you had to go through this, say we. It's a physical and spiritual thing. I'm sorry we went through that. I love you. We did our best. You know, you have to talk to yourself that way. There's no other way around it. There really is none. You really have to form that. You have to show yourself that love. The same way where if a baby is born, you don't love that baby, it just dies. It literally will. Same thing with that inner fire inside of you. If you're not talking to yourself, telling yourself how proud you are, even if you're crying, it doesn't matter. That's even more of a statement to yourself about how much you care and love yourself. You have to do that. You have to bring that fire back to life because that's how you create on this earth. Is that inner fire. And it's been put out by other people because they don't want to believe in you or they don't want to see things. So you have to bring that back to yourself full, like all the time. You might not remember to do it every day, but as long as you're doing what you need to do, that's enough. That's showing yourself that you love yourself enough, you know? Me sitting here eating damn blackberries and celery is like a form of self-love to myself. You know, oh, I'm wanting to snack on something, but I don't want chips. Like I literally have a bag of Cheetos and a Dr. Pepper next to me, which I could be eating that right now too, which I was earlier. But I was like, no, I do want to eat healthier. I do want to stop drinking all the soda and carbonated beverages. I do want to make this switch. So I have celery in the fridge. I have blackberries. I have water. So might as well just make that switch. Obviously, you're gonna see me take a swig of that Dr. Pepper at some point, but it's like I'm doing what I said that wanted to truly do, rather than what was easiest access to me. And it's a battle for sure, but it doesn't have to be a battle that you lose. It doesn't have to be a battle that tears you down. Um, but again, like even now, like I'll tell you, even now, when you're at this point, people love to test you. People might be testing you now, but when you get to certain points, people love, oh, you're really loving light. Let's see about this. Why would you want to test someone on how much they love themselves? That's not a battle between them and you. That's a battle between you and yourself. You got to keep standing up for yourself. Don't flash out here. Don't do this. You know, keep moving on that path. It's never a war. Your self-love is never a war between you and someone else. Never let that ever pop in your head. And if it does, you better fight that shit because that's you. Always a war between you and yourself. It's always a competition between you and yourself. Can I do better than I did yesterday? Yes, I can. Will I do better than I did yesterday? That's the battle. You know you can, but will you? Do you have the will inside of you to do so? You do, but will you activate that will? Will you move with that will? And will you use that will correctly? It is free will. Will you use it to really push yourself forward, or will you use it to push your progress a day forward? Where I'll do it tomorrow. Or will you do it today to see the progress in tomorrow? That's the whole battle right there. But that's what's going on with that tenfold. But I mean, at first, it does seem like a battle between you and someone else. At the beginning, it will always seem like you trying to fight someone else because you'll feel their conflict. And I'm going to say that again, you will feel their conflict. They're conflicted because they know they could do better, but they see you doing better, quote unquote, not knowing everything else. And then they want to fight you because it's like, oh, well, I'm going to do better because I'm going to show you I can take you down. Take me down where? Where are we going? First of all, tell me where we're going. If we're going downtown, we going down a flight of stairs. Where are we going? That's down. Because I never said that I was up. I never said. I never. I thought we were on the same level. So where are we going down to? Because if you want to take me down there, we're both going down. I don't give a fuck. We will both go down. But I hope to see us both rise up too. Because you bringing someone down into the battle. When you leave the battle and the smoke's all gone, that's when you start climbing back up again to where you normally are. I hope to see you back up on your pedestal too, because we were right here. But now we're like this because you put yourself down there. You can climb the fuck up, but you won't. And that's how you have to see it. It's not you putting anyone down there. They climbed down there and said, "Look at me now. I am looking at you." And like, why are you looking down on me? Because you put yourself there. I can't look up to you if you're down there, dummy. Oh yeah, well then get lower than me. No, 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 no. I'm fine here. You should come up here too. It's a little bit warmer. They got a vending machine over here. I don't give a fuck about no vending machine. I want you to come down here. No, it's fine. I'm gonna stay up here. I ain't got no ish. I ain't got no. I used to be down there. I know what it's like. Don't worry. I don't want to go down there no more. I know what it's like. You know what I mean? Like it's really like that. That's how it is. It's comical. As comical as it sounds, that's literally the battle. Like, and it only sounds comical because it's being told to you. Going through it, that shit's not funny. Maybe it's funny afterwards, but I'm telling you, that's literally the battle. It's that silly. It's that funny. But again, it's not funny because you're going through it. You're not overcoming it yet. You're just going through it still. So you have to stop and look at it and see how you can go over it or come over top of it rather than it being on top of you. But that is what's going on with that. Hmm. I I don't know the answer to that one. I don't know what the contract is when the karma comes. It feels like a stubbing a toe. I feel like that's like a sudden realization. That's what I would compare it to. Is a sudden realization. That's I think that's the best thing I can kind of like see myself saying is like it's like when you realize it's like because stubbing the toe it like it hurts for a minute but it's whatever but it's like when you realize that someone has kind of hurt you or like when a karmic contract is in full action where someone betrays you or something. I feel like that's like the stubbing of the toe. Instead of the pain pulsating at the toe, it pulsates at the heart. That's what I can best compare it to. I don't know if it has a specific name or not, but I would just call it like a sudden realization or like an actual. Well, no, I would call it an actualization instead of a realization. It would be an actualization when you're finally seeing things for how they are rather than what you would want them to be. That's what I would say. I feel like that's just coming to terms. That's what I would say. It's just an actualization or coming to term. A lot of times we do receive karma instantly because we know deep down that we shouldn't be doing it. And again, that's like the seeing of the color. It's a good sign though, in the sense of you receiving karma instantly notes is telling you that you were already told not to do something, or you were already told like, hey, let's not go down this route, but you went down it anyway out of curiosity. You learn your lessons in that way, but it does suck to go through. It doesn't mean anything bad though. It just means that you're on a seeking journey. Um, Obviously, we could break it down like, oh, we're doing dark magic. How is that the seeking? I'm not saying you're doing dark magic, by the way. I'm just example wise. But like, oh, how is someone doing dark magic on me? Like my realization moment. It's like, well, they get the instant karma. It's like their test. You shouldn't be doing stuff like this to someone because it's done out of an impure state. It's done out of an emotional impulse that your mind will take and distort it. You're mad at someone. Oh, I'm gonna get back at him. Fuck this bitch. I'm gonna show you who's it. Why? Why are you trying to show someone who's it? We're not playing tag. You know what I mean? Or it's like you're trying to help someone out, well, maybe I shouldn't get into this. I see like they're going through a rough spot, but I just want to help them and see what's out. But it turns out they're going through a rough spot because they won't learn their lesson. Your karma hits you instantly because now you have to deal with them, and they don't have to deal with their punishment because you took that burden on yourself. You took whatever lack they were supposed to have and accepted it on your own. Though that's a beautiful thing to do in on the physical, spiritually it shows an immaturity or a lack of seeing things. It shows that though you have a good heart, you're still opening up that heart to destruction instead of allowing it to be opened up to a pure state. Hmm. I actually I know what you're talking about now more. Uh where where the mother and father expect you to just be more focused on yourself. That comes from your higher self. That is your soul talking to you, telling you that it's time to evolve, telling you that it's time to move on. But it's like you're tinkering. It's like you're making small fixes of things, like how an artist they'll make a painting, and then the next day they'll see, oh, I could edit this, I can edit that, I can edit this. That's basically what you're doing with yourself. Is you're fine tuning who you are and what you need to do to be in that position. Some people have to do it more than others. Other people have to do it just like one or two times and they're done. It depends on how you've lived life and your other lives. You can look at your chart to find this out. Like if you're a deacon 1 or 2, you can expect that to happen. If you're a deacon 3, it shouldn't happen. If it is happening as a deacon 3, it's because you yourself are making mistakes that you are buying into. If you're a deacon 2, you're just kind of playing devil's advocate. But if you're a deacon 1, it's because you genuinely do not know any better and you are truly an innocent child, which is why deacon ones, they'll only feel that emotional aspect. They won't get much on the physical, but they'll get a lot of that emotional backlash. It's your deacon twos that start to get it on the physical, and that usually happens like in their 30s, well, their 30s to 40s, like in their midlife. That's where a lot of your midlife crisis people are. But your deacon threes, y'all start off shitty and then it gets better as you progress if you are listening to the soul steps that you took in the past. That's something that I've kind of found out. There's obviously more to it, but that's the whole thing. Also, what you said, Jav, you're not supposed to say I love you to people and not mean it. That also goes with saying sorry to people. If you apologize to someone but it's not out of generosity or like sincerity, that does put karma on you because you know yourself that you shouldn't apologize for something that you didn't do anything wrong in. That gives someone else leeway to go, oh, so you did do something wrong or you do feel bad. So I'm going to do this, that, and the other. It's a big apologetic war to find out who really needs to apologize versus who doesn't. And you just need to apologize to yourself. That's how you solve it. Say sorry to yourself. You don't need an apology from someone. You don't need to force someone to say sorry to you. You just need to say sorry to yourself. Oops, sorry, so that you don't have to deal with that backlash. You don't have to deal with the worry of, oh, am I ever going to get an apology? Or I just don't feel like, they see what they did. Well, what did they do? What do you deem them to be judged on? Judge not another. Don't judge each other. That's God's job. If you can judge yourself, you're good. But if you can't judge yourself and you can only judge others, I would say that's bad. I don't like saying things are good and bad because again, that's again up to you to decide. But if you can't apologize to yourself, I do see that as something bad. Why can't you apologize to yourself? Why do you deem yourself so innocent? What have you attached to yourself to make you seem so innocent when you wouldn't be innocent? Obviously, you were involved in it, you were tangled up in it, so you're not innocent. You're damsel in distressing yourself. So it kind of backlashes on you. Because the damsel in distress cannot choose who they're saved by. You might want that Prince Charming, but it might be like like Shrek. It might just be like a Shrek moment. You can't choose. You're in distress. You know you could leave, but you don't want to. It's not that you don't want to. You can't admit to yourself that you don't want to yet. You know what I mean? And I feel like, damn, that was crazy. That was kind of a channel too, because why the fuck would I mention Shrek? But that kind of does give a good example. You kind of get rescued by the ogre, but you know, you're also an ogre. That is a weird one. That's a weird one. But it works. I'll take it. Mm-mm-mm. But I will say that. I'll go along with that. I'm breaking what I just said. I told y'all you'll see me do this. I have to. I don't have to, I just want to. But I don't know. The one thing I'm not gonna do is eat those damn Cheetos. Did he though, Starborn? Personally, I thought he looked like a gigantic thumb. That's personal stuff though. I didn't really like what they did with Shrek when they turned him into a human. I was like, what the fuck? But that's a me thing. You found beauty in it. So you know what? Take pride in finding beauty in that. I've still took a minute to find beauty in it. So that's my flaw. I'll admit that. That's just funny as hell. But yeah. I don't know. I don't even know how the hell that even like I'm really concerned about my like my spirit guides because why like have me talking about SpongeBob, you'll have me talking about Shrek. Like what the fuck are y'all doing? When I get up there, we're having a good conversation about why the fuck y'all are sending me these things. Cause y'all just like to laugh at me. Like I'm joking and shit. Like I'm not gonna remember when I these days where I said I'm gonna talk to y'all about this dumb shit. Cause I am. I'm gonna sit there on that gigantic TV and rewind and say, "You remember this part? Why the fuck you make me talk about the SpongeBob movie? Talking about we know how to weed them out? The fuck was y'all doing? And y'all gonna have to give me an explanation because I really need to know. Y'all, all my guides do is laugh at me. By the way, they think I'm so funny and so cute, but I'm dead ass serious. I'm like, why are y'all giving me this shit for real? And they're like, don't worry about it. I'm not worried. I just want to know for real. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought that motherfucking back 9 times to be exact. So I want my satisfaction. That's all I'm gonna say. But that's how we talk. They know it comes from love, and they know I'm joking. That's how I joke with people. I joke with people the same way I do with my guides. The same, like the same shit I'll be saying to them is the same shit I'll be telling my friends. Like there's no difference. I don't get mad at them. I'm just like, what the fuck are y'all doing for real? Like I'm witnessing it. I'm experiencing it. I'm not gonna like, man. Okay, there was one time, dude. I was in Florida and I was meeting up with my friends, and it was my first time getting high, smoking weed. And I was laying on the couch, and my friends were like cross-faded. And I was laying on the couch and I got up and I was like, where the fuck is everyone at? I'm supposed to be babysitting. Oh God. I get up and one of my friends is kissing a stop sign outside. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, get back in the damn house. And to that day, it really taught me. I talk to my guides the same way. My guides will be like, okay, go do this. I'll be like, why the hell I do, why, I'm doing it, but why the hell do I need to do this? What the fuck are you telling me to do? Like, come on. Yeah, I don't know, man. That was a crazy night. And the worst part is, I have video evidence of that shit happening to this day. Me and my other friend that was on the trip have video evidence of that shit. So he cannot escape it. That's something he's gonna have to go to the grave with, for real. I, what did you just say to me? Y'all do this shit all the damn time. I was talking, one of my guides said something. I said, what'd you say? Don't worry about it. I swear to God. God, you better get a hold of them. They're being mean to me again. It's the Libra in me. I don't give a damn. I don't give a fuck. It's the Libra in me. You can call me crazy all you want, but you just jealous that you don't talk to your gods like that. That's the hill I'm gonna die on. But no, it's important to have a connection like that with your gods, though, for real. They love the fuck out you. Your angels love you. You gotta have like some humor. You gotta have like, you gotta have that connection. You really, really gotta have that connection. Because if you don't, then you will really feel like you don't have a friend around you. That's why I'm like, I've never, I was not even that stressed out when I was homeless because of that factor. I would talk to my gods like that. Obviously, I wasn't able to do it like out loud as much, but in my mind, I'd be like, "Why? What are y'all doing?" And they'd be like, "Don't worry, just keep doing this." What the fuck? Because like it happens in readings all the time too. Because it's like it's not me reading the cards all the time. I'm channeling most of the time. My gods are around me telling me stuff. So it's like half the time I'm just confused about the story they're reading me through me or that they see, and I'm like, why do y'all pick this up? Like, why y'all making me see this shit? Like, don't worry about it. You just gotta see it now. Like, I don't want to, but I guess I will. Like, shit. But I don't know. If more people, I don't, and I do not wish this on anyone because it was definitely torturous. If more people had the life that I've lived, more people would understand the importance of laughing with your guides and stuff. There's times for like being serious with them, but they want to be your friend. They don't want to be used and just like oh, give me this, give me that. They want that connection back and forth. They love you enough to be with you. So if you can keep like a good connection with them like that, they'll be more apt to give to you. Not saying to do it because you want them to give you some shit. It's just it helps them know that you actually do see them and you see the works in their life. I will literally question my guides and be like, why is someone doing this? And even if they say, we're not gonna tell you yet, I'm still gonna be like, okay, well at least tell them to leave me alone. Like I will tell my guides to tell people to leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing of talking to your parents. Like, hey, so and so is bothering me. I'll tell, hey, so and so is bothering me. Can you help me with that? And they'll go, sure. And then it ends. It stops because it's like now I go, thank you, whatever. They're not just there to bring you things. They're there for your protection. They're not always gonna send out your bloodthirsty ones to go smite some people. But like if you need space, like guys, I need some space. Can you just make sure that nothing comes in to distract me and stuff? And they'll will because that's benefiting both of you. That's giving you time to connect to them, and that's giving them time to know what you really need because you're telling them directly what you need in that time. They might know it, but you need to like, hey, could you do this? Sometimes they'll do things on their own, obviously, but the more you communicate with them, the more those automatic systems will happen. The more like, oh, I don't have to worry about this because my guides are on it. and then I could be focused on something else. But it's important. I use because like my dad caught me talking to my guides when I was like 12, and he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm just talking for real. I'm just talking." And he goes, "You don't need to do that in public because you'll be made fun of." And I was like, "I really don't care if I'm made fun of for talking to myself. I need to." Yeah, you just have to send love to people, man. Like it is okay. Geniuses, no, listen, they do. It's like it's called problem solving, is what it really is. Because when you talk out loud, you hear yourself, so you can get better information. If you're just talking inside your head, you're only going to be talking to what your mind can generate. But if you're talking outside of yourself, you hear what you actually sound like, so you can get a way better like idea of like what's going on. Your voice bounces off the walls, reverberation, and then you're like, okay, I need to do this. I need to do that. I could do this. I could do that. It helps you with your negotiation skills, all sorts of stuff. Like it is a skill that needs to be practiced more, but in a healthy way. Don't be talking to yourself about how doomed you are. That's gonna fuck up everything. Problem solve with yourself, because it's you, it's me, myself, and I versus you and yourself. And as long as you aren't standing by yourself, you'll be fine. I know that was kind of confusing, but that's how that works. I'm glad that it's a confirmation for you, Jess. I really am. I'm glad that because again, like I just want to be here for people, man. And I'm only like I don't have all the time in the world. I'm only so expendable. So it's like doing these things, I actually feel like I'm helping. Um, because most people just want drama. Most people just want the drama. Most people just want the entertainment. It's very rare that you see the people that really want to put this work in, which is fine and fair. But that doesn't mean that it shouldn't still be available. It doesn't have to be in like a robotic form video either, because fuck that. It needs to be something real. And a lot of people are afraid of being real because they've been bullied out of it. So, it's all about just being real. I love being, I can't hide myself. I really, after all I've gone through, I can't hide myself. I'm sorry. And I'm not sorry at the same time because I don't want to hide myself ever again. Mm-hmm. Many are called and few are chosen. And out of the few that are chosen, only some of those will walk. It's a whole damn thing. And I listen, I don't know everything, but I know what I know, and I'm gonna walk with that for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm so glad I forgot their name. But that one dude, that person that came in the chat and asked about the feminine and masculine elements of the shadow, that literally gave me the idea to do the shadow work stream. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do that later. Because what the fuck was that? Hello? I, I'm pretty sure a plasma being was just in here for a split second. What were you doing? You're still in here, actually. I see you. What are you doing? Okay, I don't. You're doing fine then. That's cool. I haven't seen a plasma being in forever, but I literally just watched like a jellyfish just. That was cool as fuck. Um, we're gonna see revenge for real. That's for God. When you see God, that's when you'll see revenge. The best revenge. Hey, you actually better answer. You'll see revenge when you do better yourself, not out of spite, but out of self love. When you start getting, because revenge It's so stupid. You don't need revenge. What you need to do is pick yourself up again. It's not revenge. I forgot what the word is called, but you don't need revenge. You need to rebuild yourself because people like to have power over others. If you don't have money, you have some form of power. If you don't have power, you have some form of sex. If you don't have that, you're useless, quote unquote, in this world, right? So if someone has more money than you and has more sex than you, but you can overpower them by not letting their opinion take you over, that defeats the money, that defeats the people they have around them. It busts their ego wide open, and you don't have to do a damn thing because it's them. It's them and their works on themselves, and then you just move on, healing yourself. Oh, justice. Same thing applies with justice. Justice is seen when you move forward. Justice is just ice, which is where people will be. 50. What is it? 50. No, 80 below. 80 below freezing, and that's where hell is. That's called your heart. When your heart freezes up, that's your just ice, or that's your justice. When you are thawing out your heart, that's you being just. Though you're encased in ice, you're being just with yourself. Things are being made balanced. But you don't need to excite justice on someone else. They will do that on their own in their own time. For they are already frozen in that pit of hell. They just don't realize it yet. But your justice comes from you. It really does. A lot of people get that confused. The divine will support you on your journey of whether it's revenge or rebuilding or justice or healing, but it's up to you to walk that path. Um, just because if you call justice down on someone, do you notice that how God starts giving you ideas? He starts showing you different pathways to walk down so that you can remove yourself. That's part of the justice plan. You need to remove yourself from them and unite with yourself again. Because we can't, you know, call punishment or cause judgment on people without ourself being pure, or and us wanting to call justice on someone. It like insinuates that there's an impurity in ourself that wants to overcome another being rather than overcoming ourself. So we in ourself are impure and are judged in that same way. You can't call judgment on another, least ye be judged. Judge not one, least ye be judged. So you have to make sure that you are healing and that you are on that right path, so that when you call justice, which would be answering the calling or answering the call from the divine to move forward, then that justice goes out. You'll start to see like their life and how it falls down. And it's like, well, I'm glad that I'm not there. And that's your justice. Your justice isn't really about you doing anything. It's about what the individual does to their self. That's your justice. It's just the truth being made seen. It's the balancing act. It's not going to be balanced if you're both trying to hurt each other or if you're both looking at each other and stuck on each other. That's just going to weigh the scales like both down. It's justice whenever they're weighing themselves down while you're elevating up. It's going to show people what's really going on, and through there you get justice through the people of the land that don't know these things yet, the people of the land that still hold on to the harborings of life, that will enact your justice on their behalf so you don't have to deal with it. Because those people, I don't want to say that they're ungodly because that's not true. They don't know the rules as well as we would know the rules. But yeah, I see them too. I see all sorts of fucking beings and things. I've seen them ever since I was like young, dude. Cryptids, you name it. You open the damn door a little bit. Why are you going in the bathroom? That's my question. Don't worry about it. I won't. I bet. Everyone wants to tell me, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I mean, it's really don't worry about it, truly. But it's like I'm curious. That's all. I swear to God, and I hear it. And I think the dumbest part. That's the messages I hear the most loud. And then you shut the door a little bit. Are you done using the bathroom? No, but I'll always hear, don't worry about it, the loudest. And I know it's because it's the most important, but still, I wish I would hear my answers that had sustenance in them rather than don't worry about it, just as loud. But that comes from purifying the heart and the mind and stuff of that nature. Um, yeah, they just don't know any better. I don't got no products out there. That's the thing. All my smell goods are like outside beside. I got my Palo Santo. I'm gonna burn this actually. I'm gonna burn it a little bit more. I got my Palo Santo out next to me. I don't know. I ain't got nothing in the bathroom. They either use in the bathroom or cleanse in the bathroom. Or both. Or all of the above. They could be doing anything in there. Honestly. But I gotta hold the Palo Santo down here because I don't want the fire to get blown out by the whatever the fuck the wind machine. Well, are you not gonna Man, this is why I always have issue with Palo Santo. Sometimes you want to burn, sometimes you don't, and then the wood gets black and it don't want to burn. But it burnt enough. It's good. But yeah, thank you, Milky, for saying that though. I just it wasn't coming to me, but they just don't know any better, so they'll enact it for you. But never feel like you have to do that. There are forces and wills of others that will overcome that for you. And because they don't know, they won't be punished as much. They won't have to suffer as much or be aware of their suffering as much as you would. You know what I mean? So it's important to do that. Yeah, no, they'll never stink up the place. That is an absolute fact. Oh, I hear that one clear as day too. I'm not gonna repeat what they said because it's something I have to do later. But thanks for reminding me. I know it's Sunday. I have to do it on Sunday. That's trash day. My guys are a lot more active right now than they have been in a while. So that lets me know that they're very happy about this stream. That means I'm doing a good job today. So I'm happy about that. I don't know. I do not know if there's anything else that needs to be talked about. I do not know. I thought I'd be dueling on the cards by now, but I'm not. I haven't got a damn thing in my mind. And I don't even know. Oh, there's the pencil. There it is. I might be able to get something. Mm-mm. But if you do need help with shadow work, I would. Oh my god, that flashes so crazily. Um, my bad. Let me not watch this one. Jesus, why did I think that was a good idea? That's crazy. Oh my lord. That one's a bit more tame, kinda. It's a little bit more tame. But if you do need help with healing from like your doing like your shadow work, the healing from trauma series that I have will really help you. Um, I don't have experience in a lot of things. Obviously, I don't have a parent, but I was adopted, so I have like an opposite spectrum type of experience. Um, but that playlist I have will definitely help you. Um, it's sharp. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is direct. It is sharp. There is no other way to go around healing unless it's sharp. And I will apologize beforehand because they are sharp as fuck, but it gets to the point. It gets to the point. It really does. Um, it's not gonna like heal you miraculously, but it's gonna make you aware of like what's going on or where it could have rooted from. But I mean, like I said, I keep my tools up here. I really want to see people heal. I really want to see people grow and evolve. That's like the biggest thing that my heart loves to see. But that series, and I cannot wait to begin it again. Um, I'm gonna make different backgrounds for it, and also the meditation music. I'm gonna bring those back too. Um, but it is it is something that a lot is like it's needed, and I mean I was making those videos when I was on the brink of going homeless too. Like it was something that like divinely guide I was just divinely guided to do those things fully. But I'm glad that I'm able to be here and walk with you and support you and give answers because like again like how I've said it like there's so many things there y'all want answers. I want answers too. I wanted answers in those times where I had no one around me. And you can watch those like 15-minute videos with AI voices and stuff or but it's like what is that are you really healing from those things? I never truly did. I never really got anything of sustenance from it. I never really got healing other than being able to transmute and laugh watching tarot. So I was like, well, again, I'm doing this. I'm literally have tarot and reading tarot in this whole channel because I asked God to keep me striving during that 30-day period. So I was like, what else can I do to help in God's name? And then they said, just do this, do that. Okay. I don't see a problem with it. You know what I mean? It's just, that's why I'm here. It's my life purpose. I like helping people. I genuinely love helping people. It makes me happy. It makes me so happy to see people heal. Um, because we can have a laugh about it. It's like most of the time when you have to heal from something, it's something really silly. Like it's super silly. It's like, why am I even mad? Why is this the root cause of my anger? It's so stupid why I'm mad about that. It's like, I don't know. But you were mad at it. So it's like you gotta laugh at yourself a bit. Um and again, if you and like I always say, if you can't laugh at yourself, then you're not doing something right. You're doing something wrong to yourself. If you can't laugh at yourself, like you gotta laugh at yourself by not making self-deprecating jokes. Laughter is an agreement. So if you're laughing at yourself because you're putting yourself down, you're agreeing to putting yourself down. You really gotta learn how to laugh and like in a helpful way. Like you were silly for doing that. Don't call yourself stupid. Just say you're silly for doing that, dude. Like, come on, really? You could have done better than that. You didn't have to do that. It's like, yeah, I know. You still did. But you gotta make, just make jokes about it. Like, oh, I was silly doing that. But not forever, just until you can get over it. Just until you build enough, of that power to step over that barrier and leave it in the past. And there's still some things in my past that I still to this day have to look back and be like, I don't know, it causes me issues. It causes me like a gut issue. It just causes me discomfort. But that just shows me that there's more I got to heal from. So it gives me a lot more hope. I would hate to ever be in a position to feel like I was fully healed or that I didn't need to heal anymore. I wouldn't be able to handle that. Like me personally, I'd like, well, why am I here then? Because again, I want to learn, I want to keep healing. If I've already healed all the way, what am I doing here? That kind of puts me in like a weird like phase where I'm like, I don't want to be here then. Like, where's the next place to go? But you know, there's a lot more to heal from. There's a lot more that I haven't experienced that I got to heal from too. You know, whether that healing is you know, I don't even know. Like even like if I had an animal and it passed away, I would still need to heal and grieve for that. It's just how it is. But that's part of the joy that I get from life is just learning new ways to experience things. Because I mean, that's why we're here. At least that's why I'm here. I can't say that we're all here, but we all do end up experiencing things whether we want to or not. So even if that's not your main purpose, it's still a side effect of existence. Yeah, all the time. My guides will go quiet a lot, or they used to. They won't go quiet as much now, unless I like annoy them. But they do go quiet. And it's usually because they've given me an answer that I still haven't put to use yet. Most of the time, your guides go quiet because you either don't need guidance or they want to see how you will move. And when they want to see how you move, that's a new lesson to learn. But if they've already given you an answer, they don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, I've given you this answer, we've talked about it, do it, move on. It's like, oh, should I leave them? Yes. Should I leave them? Yes. Should I leave them? They don't answer. We keep telling you to leave them, but you haven't left them yet, so we're not going to tell you to keep leaving them. You're either going to leave them or suffer the consequence. Not suffer literally, but suffer the consequence, right? But if they go quiet on you and you never asked a question before, it's more of like, how would you go about this? Based off of what you've learned in life, based off of who you are, what do you desire to do? And then off of that, then we'll guide you down that path so that you don't have to face all of the horrors on the path, but you'll be able to live in harmony on that path and accept your choices. It's not going to be something that will belittle you later. But that's why they go but quiet. It's just really you got to either do the answer that they told you or experiment with what you have. Um, they will not unless you have done something to offend them, which they very much will give you signs that you have. It's never out of like you're in trouble. It's just you don't need us to be around you to guide you and hold your hand all the time. We want to walk with you. So don't be afraid to live life. Go out and do these things and then ask for guidance on what you've experienced. But that's why they'll go quiet on you. The same thing with like if you pray and your prayers feel like they're not being answered, it's because you've received the answer for what you prayed for. You just need to accept it and move with it. You know, and that's kind of like the tough part about the human because the human will always be like, well, I just want an answer anyway. Well, yeah, you do want an answer anyway, but you have the answer. You just don't like that answer, but there's no other answer to give you. But you have free will to either follow that or do something else. That's up to you. Just never blame the divine, never blame your guides or God for a choice that you made. That is something I had to learn on the journey. There were a lot of times in life where I'd be like, why are y'all doing this to me? This is bullshit. I don't deserve this, or like all these things. And they don't want you to be there at all. But there was something blocking you, either fear, a lack of trust, procrastination that kept you from doing what you need to do. And it's like, you need to learn this lesson. We love you to death and to life and beyond. But you need to learn why. They're not there for you to belittle. They're not there to make you live a perfect, safe life. They're just there to guide you on your choices for real. So I'll say that as well. I'll say that as well. I don't know if I want water or a blueberry, blackberry, or what. All I know is I'm done eating. I've done ate for like what, almost 2 hours straight. I'm done. That's a 2 hour snack break. That's crazy. I'm done. Exactly. We have to meet them halfway. That's all they can do. The divine moves on the ticks of life, and we move on the talks of life. When they move, we move. So if you're not moving, they might still be moving, but they're not moving in the tense of your time, because time don't stop. But they need you to keep stepping. The left foot and the right foot. Once one foot takes a step, the other one does. You gotta keep moving. It's the kinetic flow of life is what I would say. You know what? I'm gonna keep that in mind, Jess. The next like question and answer will definitely be about like your guides and stuff. I'm actually gonna write that down on this paper. I know at this time I got paper on me. I can write it down. But we can definitely have like a Q&A for like guides and stuff. How to connect with them, what to do, all these things. Um because again, it's like though it all boils down to personal experience, you can still learn from how other people act with them. Like when I'm goofing off with my guides, do not feel embarrassed to do that. You might not even get a response back. Half the time when I'm trying to banter with my guides, they don't even respond to me. They just sit there and listen. It's like, okay. Like if that's what you want to do right now, that's cool. But there's more important things at hand for us to, go back and forth with you. So we'll just let you do that, but get back on task. That's why whenever readings are happening, I'm like, what the hell? Never mind. I'm not even gonna bother you. And I go back to it. It's just like they're not gonna respond to that because there's bigger things at hand. Um, but yeah, I got you. Tomorrow, I mean, I think I can do these Q&As like once a day. I'm pretty sure I can fit them in. I don't. I say that, and then I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna do it tomorrow. Some dumb shit, dude. Oh my god. We are gonna have a reading tonight though. Ooh, like a late night tea. So probably like in an hour or 2 hours, I'll be back for an actual like tarot reading and whatnot. We'll dive into the whole scheme of things and see what's going on. But I'm getting back I'm getting back into the variety of things. I want to get back into the variety of things. Doing the tarot readings, that's cool. I want to do that. I want to get back into channel messages. I want to get back into this. Like, there's just a lot that I've been wanting to do, and y'all been hearing me talk about this shit for years and months. And now that I'm finally in a place where my energy's back to normal, I've been here for a solid month, so like I'm used to the energy and the flow of this. I'm just adding new things on, like you know what I mean. Like I'm finally getting the energy reserves back to do these things. So I'm wanting to like actually do them now that I feel that I can. Like I have the energy to now. I'm not being weighed down by things. I actually have like the space even to do so. The only thing that's gonna be a bit rough is like dedicated teachings. I don't know how I'm gonna do that yet. I still have to figure out how to slip that in the schedule of things. I still got to figure out what to do with that. But they will pop up eventually. These are teachings, of course, but like I'm talking about, like I just upload a video and it's a teaching. I don't want to do it on like a live stream. I don't want to do it on a live stream at all. I want it to be like a dedicated video to it, so I can get to the exact points I need to, like I used to. But but yeah, I'm probably gonna head out, rest up a bit before I come back for the reading, get me a good shower, and do all the fun things I do. But thank y'all for being here. Hopefully this helped you out, gave you some answers, gave you some leeway. Um, I love you all so much, tenfold and forevermore. Y'all know the drill. Everything's in the description. But thank you all for so much. The likes, comments, share, subscribe, donations, whether energetic or financial. I truly appreciate them all. Peace in the Lamb. It has been truly wonderful, and I will see you later.